What is up, guys? This is Tyler from Bullseye Investing. In this video, we'll be talking about companies poised to benefit from the expansion of the market of hydrogen fuel cells. We'll be talking numbers, current stock prices, earnings, growth rates, history, all that stuff to make a final evaluation at the end. So stay tuned. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, maybe you've seen some of my other videos, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel as fast as I can. That being said, let's start. I wanted to start by analyzing prospects of the hydrogen fuel cell market as a whole really quickly. By 2026, it's estimated that the market will expand to $41 billion. Now, that's a pretty big market, and now I want to examine a breakdown of market share of each company, the major ones right now. Ballard Power Systems hold about 17%, Toshiba holds about the same, and Plug Power sits around 12% market share. Now, these values might have changed slightly, but it holds roughly the same. Now, if we add those percentages together, we realize that the top three companies hold almost a 50% market share. So it's safe to say that these are the three most dominating companies in the space. Now, for this video, I want to focus on just these three. I might make a more comprehensive video later on that takes up a long time, but I wanted to deeply examine the top three companies because I know that there are many fuel cell companies we can sit here and consider, but the leaders are the most important. I know you might like your fuel cell energy or Bloom energy, but I'm going to stick to what I know best, the research I've done, and talk about the top three. Now, that being said, really quickly out of the side, we'll start with Plug Power. Many consider Plug Power to be the stock to buy. Analysts expect Plug's revenue and EPS to increase 35.6% and 17.9% respectively next year. They also have a price to book value of about 16 times right now. And the stock has shot up recently, given coverage from Jim Cramer and other analysts, and now has a market cap of about $11 billion with a stock price of almost 27 bucks a share, when a month and a half ago it was trading for almost half. Bam! Now we have to realize there's a lot more hype for a company like Plug right now. They have contracts with Amazon and Walmart to power their forklifts. But we need to look at some downsides of Plug. They are burning through cash like crazy. We need to realize that they acquired a company in June, and the cash burn shouldn't be too much of an issue, just something to keep in mind. So we have a lot to talk about Plug right now, but what are some prospects for the future? Well, this guy, CEO Andy Marsh, says the company is confident that the company can increase its annual revenue to 1.2 billion in 2024, which would allow it to have a profit of at least $250 million. I'll take that with a grain of salt, but this indeed tracks with forecasts from analyst firms. S&P Global Market Intelligence claims Plug Power will be profitable in 2023. So Plug Power seems to be extremely hyped right now, but we need to realize that these might be actually bargain levels compared to what is coming in the future, especially if multipliers of earnings stay high. We now need to compare Plug to other companies first to get a full grasp of the picture to make a final evaluation on Plug. So we're going to save that for the end. And I want to talk about the next company, Ballard Power Systems. I personally am conflicted with Ballard Power Systems, and let me tell you why. Ballard is 25 years old. They have been trying to push their technology for 25 whopping years, and they haven't had the level of success that they wanted. Now 2020, 2021, 2022, it might be their year after 25 years of waiting, but we'll just have to see because their history isn't very good. In the last 10 years, they've only posted a profit in Q1 in 2015, and they've been losing cash, and their revenues have gone up less than 100% in 10 years, so that's not enough to convert into a solid profitability. They've also diluted their shares greatly in order to fund and stay alive. If you were a shareholder in Ballard's 10 years ago, you would have seen your shares diluted by a factor of roughly 3. And there's no definitive point to know when they'll stop doing this. So if you buy now, you could have your shares diluted. But there's still hope with Ballard. Despite the terrible numbers, we can't ignore the fact that Ballard has quite a large market share in the fuel cell market and only has a market cap of $5.5 billion right now, with the current price of almost 20 bucks. And it's up a bit less this year than other fuel cell companies. Right, Plug skyrocketed. Now Ballard's going up a good amount. Let's say, I'm not saying it's not, but it's a small amount relative to Plug this year, which was a penny stock a mere year ago. Ultimately, I think Ballard has potential, but they have been trying at this for years now. Now, to be fair, they're still trying to innovate and get things done, having made a propulsion power system for marine vessels and other projects. And analysts do say that revenue might go up 31.4% and EPS will go up 33.3% in the next year, but take Ballard as a risky investment. Now we move to Toshiba to round out our view of hydrogen fuel cell war and make a final opinion. I'm going to admit I'm less familiar with Toshiba in the fuel cell space, and they're making fuel cells for use by vessels, railroad vehicles, construction machinery, and other large modes of transport to be completed by the end of fiscal 2024. Now they're really trying to grow this project, but they've been trying for a while, and Toshiba's isn't necessarily a fuel cell company, so we won't be looking at their analytics from an EPS type lens point, but we will talk about their project as a potential competitor to other fuel cell companies down the line. Their general manager of the hydrogen energy business department said that they're dedicated to developing pure hydrogen fuel cell systems for motor transport, right? And they have big dreams for the future, but don't invest in Toshiba as merely a fuel cell company. I just bring them up as potential competitors down the road. So, final thoughts. I think that Plug Power is the best bet right now. Now, there's a lot of hype, and I'm not going to be buying it at these levels quite yet. But I will definitely consider purchasing the stock if a job comes. There's a lot of hype, but it is a really good company. For Ballard, I think there's definitely high risk. They don't have a very good track record, but also high reward because track record doesn't necessarily determine the future. For their large market share, they have not experienced the hype of the rest of the market, and their market cap sits at $5.5 billion currently. Those are my final thoughts. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like this video and want to see future news about stocks, my opinions, and my research. Thanks for supporting the channel and watching. Thanks.